My lovelies, I am back and it is part, oh, what are we on now? Is it part 3? I think we're on part 3. Right, part 1 and 2 are uploading to YouTube now. So we're on part 3. So this is the carriages, right? I'm going to take this a little bit slower. Let's move this up a little bit. I'm a little bit skew-whiff. I'm a little bit skew-whiff, aren't I? This is not good looking at a skew-whiff camera. Right. So, the carriages. This is where the bulk of your work is, okay? Any carriages on any Ferris wheels, any product are all going to be exactly the same. They're all going to be a lot of work, okay? I'm going to take it a bit slower with this, and I might have to do this in 2 parts. So for this, this is where you're going to decide whether this project is for you or not, okay? At this stage, you're going to think, right, this is a lot of cutting. But remember, wouldn't make a difference. It's going to be a lot of cutting. Okay, so you need your hexagon and your panels out of the chai tea caddy, okay? Your hexagon, you're going to need 12, okay? 12 pieces of these. And to make the, this is for the carriages, 9 panels, 9 of these. I think that should do it. You may have some left over, but I'm going to tell you 9 because that will certainly do your 6 carriages. Now, this piece is out. Let's just put that on there. This piece is out of, where are we? The Tantalus. Okay, it's out of the Tantalus die set. Now, you could replace at this stage, I mean, those, you're going to need a whopping amount of those, but remember 2 will go through in 1 pass. So how many do we need? We need 12 handles. So we've got 6 carts. So if you want to put one, these are them. I mean, I've cut them down. I haven't got one that's uncut to show you, but you can see the shape it's going to give you. It gives you that shape. I'll just put that back so you can see. It gives you that shape, right? That's what it looks like. So if you only want to use one, then obviously you need 12 pieces, but it's advisable to double these. So it gives you a nice stable swing. So it's 24, but you will pass that through the machine. Let me just think. 6 will give you 12. So you pass that through 12 times, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you the panels, okay? We are going to have to chop these down on the, there's a little indentation, you know, on there and on that side. So they are going to have to be snipped down, but you can still use these panels. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is where your work is in your Ferris wheels. This is where the work is, and it's a lot of work. You are going to need at least, if you want to decorate, I'll show you, if you want to decorate 2 sides, you know, the back part, then you're going to need at least 24 of these, okay, at least, to decorate, because you've got 6, 12, plus the double the amount, plus these, so it's 24 panels, and that will decorate, that's right, I think that will decorate 2 of each side. So this is where, you know, if you wanted to change it, if you didn't want to go for those, obviously they look really lovely. If you just wanted to go for the plain panels, you can. That is up to you. That's the decoration. But that is where, this here now is where your bulk of your work is. And this is where you're going to decide, do I want to do a Ferris wheel or don't I? Okay. You either, you know, if you want a long project, you know, it's going to be good for a long project. But some people are like, oh, no, can't do that. It's too much work. Right, do you know what I will say? I'm going to waffle, I'm going to stop because I don't want this to go on for ages, but I will say one thing about these Ferris wheels. If you do have these products in your stash and you want to have a go, if you are a crafter who has a craft stall and does craft fairs, you want that extra, you want that project that no one else has got. Because I would imagine that when you do craft fairs, there's lots of other crafters that might have Tonic products and they might sell Tonic products the same as you do. But you want that project that's going to stand out from the rest, okay? And this is the kind of project that's going to stand out from the rest because it's a lot of work. You're going to be able to bump up your price on these because Ferris wheels aren't cheap and when you see the work. But what I'm saying is if you did maybe a couple, if you spent, you know, a couple of weeks, a nice couple of weeks, and you did a bit each night, you could make 2 lovely Ferris wheels and have those on show. But it was just a thought. This is what you want. Right, let's get back down to these carriages now. Right, we have to make these panels shorter. No getting away from that. So what we're going to do is butt up our panels. So cut them and butt them up. And then if you have a scoreboard, right, you're going to score down on 9. Okay? Score down on 9. Right? 9 centimetres. Now I'll just show you in case you do have I'm just going to give you a couple of ways to do it. Whatever's easiest for you, whatever piece of equipment you have. If you do have the trimmer, let's take that out. Okay, we'll have to put that back in a minute. You're going to pop this up, and the measurements for this, okay, are 1.5 centimetres. This is your score line. This here's your score line, right? So you want to butt this up to 1.5 centimetres. You'll see it, and make sure you're using that straight edge, not the edge with the tab, right? So all we're going to do is just going to check that's right. Don't want that to be 1.5. It's very, very important that you get this straight, okay? So we're then going to score on the 1.5. So that's just a couple of bits of equipment, right? I'm going to swap that out because I'm going to need to show you what to do. So that's a couple of pieces of equipment to show you different ways of using it. Right, okay, so I think I'm going to stand up for this and show you what I'm going to do, right? So can you see this? Right, so we've now got our new score line along here, okay? This is our new score line. So all we're doing is we're recreating that, right? Because we don't want this box as long as it is. Let's just snip that properly. Okay, so cut to the score line. It's important, don't go over it, right? Ooh, there we go. You're also going to come across, I'm just checking out you can see this, and cut that off to the score line. And then your score line is here. That's your score line here. And you're just going to cut that straight down, right? You're going to have to rejig these anyway. So let's just show you, if we take off the excess, right? This is excess. We don't need that anymore because we've now made our score. There we go. We've now made our new score line. See, we've shortened that panel. Let's turn it that way so you can see. We've shortened the panel, okay? So I'm going to show you again. We're going to cut down here and here, okay? And you're going to really do it nice and neatly, right? I'm just moving that out of the way. And then here, hope you can see me. I will do this in 2 parts so that it gives you a nice lengthy, okay? And down here, nice lengthy tutorial. And one more, let's do one more so you can really, if you're watching me doing this, then it's handy to do it a few times so you don't have to keep rewinding it back. Where are we? There we go. And cut out. I'm pretty good with these now because I've done, this is the 3rd. Well, I think 3rd now. Right, so that's the 3 panels, and 3 panels are going to make 2 parts. Right, take one of your panels and you're going to chop it down the middle. You can use paper trimmers, okay, but chop it down the middle, okay. One is going to go on here, then one you're not going to need the panel for anyway, That's the way to do it though. Do it the way I'm doing it. Don't start complicating things anymore, okay? There we have it, okay? So I'm going to do these up so you can see, just in case you're a bit, I still don't know, okay? And I need to do these anyway because I need the two for the carriages. Let me just take a gulp of water. So yes, so 3 panels are going to make 2 carriages, and this is, like I say, where you're going to sit down and think, right, yes, I've got to decorate X amount of carriages, aren't you? You're going to be thinking, so maybe in hindsight doing a hexagon first is much better than doing an octagon, because an octagon is even harder, okay? And it's a slightly different process of putting it together with an octagon than it is with a hexagon. A hexagon is much simpler, we hope. we do hope. Right, so let's just go ahead and pop all our tape onto our pieces. I could have put this all the way through really, couldn't I? No, I won't confuse you. Let's do it simple ways. I do go speeding ahead with projects sometimes, I think I've got to slow it down at this point. Now, I'm just thinking there was other bits and bobs I actually wanted to mention with regards to Ferris wheels, and that is, yes, it was the paper. It was the paper size. Now, if you remember, I've said from start to finish, if you want to use a couple of different colours, in fact, I don't think I've said that yet because I said it on my last videos for the octagon, so I'll say it again for this one. If you want to use a couple of different coloured cards, you will need to use the same cardstock weight and go for this. Just go for the same product and same weight. Okay, I did tell you don't have to cut these filigrees into these panels. It does take a lot of time, but it's not essential. It's not an essential thing. Right, now we're going to pop our carriage one onto the other. So we've now got 3. Okay, let's concentrate on this. Okay, concentrate on this. Now I think you're going to realise by now we've made our new score line, haven't we, here? So we've now shortened our box, right? We've shortened our... You could actually do that on the tea caddy. Right, let's put this one together as well first. I just had a thought as I'm doing that, you see. I'm now thinking, if you wanted to shorten it for any reason, you can. I didn't think about that. I'm just thinking. Yeah, I'm just looking at it. You see, I've got it at the side. I'm just thinking you could shorten it if you wanted to. The panels would have some jigging about. But that won't bend nicely for me. Yes, you could. Right, okay. So those are our little carriages. Now, we'll move back to our hexagons, right? What you're going to need to do with your hexagons, which I think were 12. Chai tea caddy, 12 hexagons, didn't we? That's what we said, right? So with all of your 12 hexagons, you are going to need to cut them down, cut them in the middle, straight across. Okay, nice and straight across. This is where the measuring it is now coming into play. Okay, and it's important that you do this. Okay, and this is actually really important. It is. There's no real getting away from it. So you're only going to need to do these on, well, you've got 6, so there'll be 12, won't there? Because you're doing 1 on each side. This is for covering up. So you need to do these on 12, not the full because you're doubling up. Do you see what I mean? Although you're cutting 12 hexagons, you're getting 24 because you're cutting them in half. But you only need to do them on 12. Now, this is so that we can centralise that handle. Remember, this is not made for this purpose, right? We're making this up ourselves, okay? So this is why we're having to do this. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put a nice little line in at 4.5 centimetres, okay? Let's not confuse you. Let's start that again. You're going to put a line, I'm sorry, I went in too quick. 4.5 centimetre, okay? I'll show you. And so 3 centimetres, 4.5 and 6, okay? Can you see that? That is, you don't need to worry about the measurements, but that is going to centralise our little hooks for the baskets, okay? That's going to centralise them. So let me just bring that back in, and you'll be happy to know I've already measured all those out, so you're not going to have to see me do that all again. Hurrah! Okay, so I've done it on all of them and I didn't need to. Let's put that one to the back so I don't get confused. Right, so now it's just a question of popping your panels on like you would do with the chai tea caddy, but we're making half a box. Okay, I'm just making half a box. So it's not that this process is the carts are a difficult process. Yes, we've had to have some rejigging, because we're making something out of, you know, something new, completely different. So we've had to have a bit of rejigging going on there, but it's not difficult, it's time consuming, okay? That's the only thing. So again, I'm stressing this all the way through. Please, please, please remember this is a long project. It's not for the faint-hearted. That's what I would say. It's a nice, involved, long one. But the rewards are going to be fantastic for this, because it does. I haven't done this hexagon one, but I'm going to do a little Christmas theme with this one, I think. Unfortunately, you've seen me. I'm going to do another one because I obviously needed to do 2. But you can... What are we up to now? Ooh, 17. I'm going to stop after I've done these boxes, and then I'm going to show you how to put the card together, so that I can upload these a bit quicker. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever. So yes, it's a very time-consuming project, but again, I will say a rewarding one, and it's going to be very pretty. I'm doing a Christmas theme with this one. But you could do, I mean, I really wanted to do, I started doing grey and pink, because that's a real good colour trend this year. Everything is grey and pink, isn't it? That really blush pink colour, which is beautiful. And I started doing one up for the octagon, and then I thought, no, the carts need adjustments. So I will do one in that colour as soon as I can figure out these 4 centimetre hexagons and the quickest and easiest way of doing them. Right, okay, so now you've got your boxes, okay, you've got your little carts. These are forming your carts. So now, where are we? Can you see, just in there, can you see you've got your little marks, your markers, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our spindles. Now, as I've said, I have gone down the full hog road of cutting 2 out and backing one onto the other, okay? So I've cut 2 at a time, and that's 1. And then, you know, I've done it the long way, because I think visually it looks better, and I also think that it makes for a better spin. Right, okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to pop your, we're calling this the handle, let's call it the handle, onto your markers, okay? Let me just get that central, and you're going, there is no other way, that's the only way to do it. Can you see? We've got our little central point, and our 2 markers were on the side, and we're having it like a half moon. Now, the way to measure it, half circle, sorry, not half moon. This is how I do it. I'm centralising it to 21, and I can just see which corner it is that it's on. You will find on your mats, you will find a way of centralising it. But to be honest with you, providing you do exactly what I've just done, show you one more time, and then I'll pop them all together, just so that you can see this going in here, okay, matched up perfectly with that circle central. That's your central point, and you want half the circle in the middle. And that is the best way I could think of centralising our carriages. Okay, now if you don't have those, you can compensate here. Now, I don't know how it's going to swing, but you could compensate with string. So if you've got some string, you'd need just, I would say, I'm just thinking, I think about 2 centimetres pieces of string on each side. I will come back to you with that, because it will be the same when we go to the other one. But if you don't have those, then string will work instead, and you can just put your panels in. So see this, we're just closing up, we're just finishing off those, right, because we don't want those to be shown. So that just hides up, your carriages. Okay, so there we go, that's one done. I'm going to do one more again just to show you, because I know it's difficult. You can see I'm just putting glue. I'm roughing out half a circle. Once you get going with these, you'll really start to understand again how they work, and you will get there. Okay, I promise you, once you start, you'll understand it. This is why it's a little bit more intermediate to advanced, because we're having to gauge these things, because it wasn't made to be a Ferris wheel. These are little components that we've taken out of different sets that work, so it is a little bit of roughing, but you've still got a measurement there. Okay, I'm so confident now because I've done a few of these. I would say take it slowly, do not rush. Okay, do not rush, take it nice and slow, especially for your first one. And I say, and I've said throughout this, I'm willing to help you. If you start the project and you become very stuck with it, just send me a message. Send me a message. Send me a picture of what's, if there's an issue with it, you're not sure, or you want just anything, just send me a message and I'll gladly help you do these. But I do think, as lengthy as they are lovely projects. They really are. They look lovely. Right, especially for Christmas, because I saw some really lovely Ferris wheels. Small ones. I mean, they were electronic. In a shop, they were electronic ones, but very small ones. And I think they were about £10–15. I mean, not as big as this. You couldn't put anything in them. They were just, just normal sort of Ferris wheels. But I thought, wow, that's a lot of money. Right, okay, so I'm just going to move in now our wheel, okay, because I've already done, you'll be happy to know, I've already done, here's one I did earlier, okay, I've already put the carts onto here, okay, so all I'm going to do now is just decorate these boxes. I'm going to take this slow because I really want to make sure. What I did was I put them on the wrong way, so I've had to alternate now. So I've got to make sure I'm doing things the right side, okay? But just checking I'm doing it the right way. Yes. Right. It's at this point, sorry, that you just want to cut off the edges, because you know we've shortened it now, haven't we? So just make sure you cut down on there's like an embossed line. Can you see on each side? That little line. I'm trying to do it so you can really see it. That's where we're cutting down, okay? Now we've had to do that because obviously we've made it shorter, but it doesn't make any difference, believe me, to the look of it. You're not going to sit there and go, oh, it looks bizarre, because it doesn't. It's just literally a couple of millimetres off each end. And it's just to sort of let you know, you can still use the panels, right? You can still use them. It's not an issue, right? So that's all you have to do. Now, it's up to you how you decorate this. If you want to go to town, you've got to, the problem is obviously these are, so we've got one that way. I put them one on one way and one on the other way, and I couldn't change it, so I've gone with it. I've gone with it, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to complicate your life. Like I say, you can change it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go off camera. So this is what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to put these all on first. I really hope this is going to work, because I haven't done it this way before, but I wanted to make it easier. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go off. I'm just going to finish decorating these last carriages. Okay, and then we're going to put the top on. Now, just to let you know, I have stuck these all together. I've stuck these all together, okay? One of the brown and two of the white. Same cardstock, remember, same cardstock. You don't have to do the filigrees, but it does look nicer, because obviously you're going to be able to see through it, okay? You're going to see through that, but you don't have to. But as long as it's just 3, you cannot use any more layers of this. You can't start adding all the decorations on there, putting little bits. Do not do that. It's very important, because this is going up against your stand. And if you start sticking things on there, you're going to add to the weight and it's not going to fit. Very, very, very important. Right, okay. Let me pop off. Let me finish decorating, and then we're going to come back and construct the actual cage. We're going to put it together first, then our last bit is the stand. So we're not far off, we're nearly there. Right, so I shall see you what we're in part 4.